Hello everyone, welcome to Randomizer Mania and the Group D Tiebreaker. My name is ZelnusTV. I'm here with Buckshot Boo.
Hello.
This is my old group. I played against all three of these guys, and all three of these guys are the ones who beat me. So I know exactly how and what they did. We're also here with Volt and Mathro as our tracker and Epipoliticus as our restreamer. A lot of you guys probably know Smight. He does a lot of video gaming, known for a lot of Genesis age-ish games, and he's just been in speedrunning for a long time. JTB's known for horror games. He plays Resident Evil 4, and joined Randomizers relatively recently, like close to the qualifiers. And then SunsOutGunsOut, I know absolutely nothing of. His first SRL race was literally our first race that we had together, his first tournament race. And there is an item at Uncle.
Fire Rod.
That's a good item. You definitely want to grab the potions there.
Crabs drop in reds as well.
Those potions actually give you enough magic right there to complete escape. So both these runners could have actually completed escape if they just shot one fire shot at each of the required enemies to kill.
Yeah, it's a good shot management. Ooh, that's Hesitant Aghanim right there. That's Ether Medallion.
Oh, okay, well, we'll see. Ether's not required for anything else, so we'll see.
It will fully depend on what we need to enter our medallion required dungeons.
So, yeah, long story short, basically what I remember of what I got beaten, JTB basically beat me via not doing things that he thought he couldn't do because he forgot he had an item. And there's 20 rupees off of the Stuttle Crab.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And a bottle in the Thief's Hideout.
So, bottle means that we can get an additional item on our way through here. JTB should have the Fire Rod as well. I'm pretty positive he was there.
It's always convenient to get that bottle early just because it saves you a trip back to the Kakariko village. It looks like Smite's going to get there first, but he did not go to Uncle for the Fire Rod, so he got here first more by just not doing the same route as everybody else. Sick Kid today has the reward of a big 20. And the Tavern's an arrow expansion, so the first two checks not really giving much promise here. Looks like Smite's gonna go buy his bombs before leaving the town. Typically a smart play. Oh, hook shot in the chicken house. Interesting. Getting that early, A, gives them good defensive options, and B, it means that we may have to go to a hookshot location pretty early. And the hammer is in Blind's hut, so that is going to be an important grab for everybody.
Yeah, so having hammer and hookshot this early means powered love will be very important, regardless of if they find the torch, or flute, alternatively.
It also means the right side of Death Mountain is completely accessible. Get the lamp and either the glove or flute, depending. Did not quite get to see what that one item was that's I picked up. I don't know if it was anything big. Might see it on another runner's feed.
Finding all the hearts, a red moraine for Suns Out.
Was the red meringue. That's what got cut off for me. So Smite has that as well.
JTB will begin momentarily.
So there's a fair amount of money in Kakariko as well. Not quite the amount that you probably want to see. You might want a little bit more than this, but it's enough. JTB now gotta go pick up his boomerang, and I believe he still needs to go grab his hammer, so he'll segue right over to that.
Okay, so we have SunsOut made sure that he has enough bombs. Gonna end up buying some.
Yep, it's always a smart play to stock up on those, either coming into the town or leaving the town, just because typically you'll have the money, and usually you won't find bombs that early. Library has another red bottle in it, so we're probably not coming back for that.
I mean, if it's a bottle, they might, if they have the boots and they're in the area again. Possibly if they've got the mirror and they're doing like the fraud and everything, they'll mirror back in.
It would be a quick enough
Yeah.
check.
It's red, but having an additional like potions are worth the time investment usually. Like,
yeah, potions tend to be worth their weight in gold just because they save you from situations that would normally kill you. The race game, by the way, was a piece of heart. No need to go through that right now. And Smite's gonna take the lower high roll path now to look for his items. More money inside the dam, which will take care of Zora funding, I guess. Question then becoming what's on the outside. A heart container. Yeah, I'd be tempted to grab this. It's early, you kind of want the extra hearts.
yeah, I can't hook actually onto those giant rock formations, as I'm not sure what like constitutes a hookable surface, but for some reason those giant rocks you can't.
Yeah, it's weird. You can hook shot to trees, but you can't hook shot to rocks.
I mean, that kind of made sense, because like trees are wood and you're sticking a large metal like spoke into them.
True. This is also why you can hook shot into the signposts.
Yeah. So much easier to hook onto wood. Now, why you can hook onto like literally all the small rocks, I don't know.
Yeah.
Pulling those towards you. Chests too, that sort of makes sense.
Well, there's our third ball we've seen this run, one with a fairy in it inside the mini Moldorm cave. So we've got stuff, but not enough to coherently go anywhere outside of where we're normally able to access this early. Which will definitely... It may potentially even cause a small little split for our runners' paths. Looks like SunsOutGunsOut is going to make the play on doing the front part of Escape. And Smight is checking Ice Rod Cave. And typically Ice Rod Cave has nothing, but there's always that chance it burns you, and it's one of those locations that if you forget, it will come back to haunt you later.
Now, an interesting thing about these three-way tiebreakers, something you mentioned in chat, oh, just notice that this is a last one or you're out. The interesting part about these is it actually encourages gambles a little bit more than the 1v1 races, because if you make a gamble that doesn't pay off, you might still get rewarded, or at least not punished as deeply if somebody else makes a worse gamble.
Yeah, because you technically can afford to come in second in this particular tiebreaker, sometimes taking the gamble can be worth the investment.
Yeah. Now, what that also might mean is it might lead these runners to play a lot safer, opting not to skip, say, the Ice Rod Cave or Adina. They're gonna maybe check those a little bit earlier than they would have, because the time investment to get these out of the way spots will actually pay off in just making sure they don't lose an item. So, like, if gloves are at Adina and they've got like Adinum access, so a lot of runners will opt to just do Adinum because there's no point to go to Adina But actually, an even better example, but they already have it, is the hammer. They have the hammer. But if they had gloves but no hammer, and then hammer is at Edina, a lot of people would have done Adama if they had the access. But, you know, there's a lot of different options. We'll see probably some interesting routes out of these runners.
Right,
if
so
they're metagaming.
We do have a couple of splits here. JTB, after doing Ice Rock Cave, is going to go straight into Hyrule Castle. Smight did just Hobo on his fake flipper and is going to Eastern. And GunsOut just finished the front part of Escape. Yeah. There was also a map check. We have crystals at Eastern and Desert. Desert being a 5/6, and Hera was a pendant. Not the green one, though. Ooh, flew into Hospitala's house.
Well, Smight made the right play here. He might just back out. No, is he going to continue on? Yes, he is. Okay. With the hook shot, it actually makes grabbing the items here a little bit faster in Eastern. It does,
yeah. And
there's a lot,
so it's not like you can't defend yourself.
There's a lot of things in Eastern that can be hook shotted onto, and the popos in the dark room die to it as well. And you can actually hook onto the dark like pot, so it makes the whole dungeon is much faster with hook shot.
Yeah, it is. I would say a good deal faster if you have hook shot and know how to effectively use it.
This dungeon with hook shot is actually like, I almost like to call it like Randomizer 101, because this dungeon changes significantly depending on the items you have. Like for example, hook shot allows you to hook on to like the telepath tablet after the bid key chest. So if you need to return to the bid chest because it was vanilla bid key, then you just hook onto that. You can kill a bunch of enemies with the hook shot, as it turns out, and hook shot makes darkroom navigation a lot easier because if you know where the pots are, then you can navigate the room that way. And the easiest one is right here. You get to skip a room. Instead of going to the top room, you can go to the bottom room and just skip.
Yep, skip right over the gap like so. For your Fisher-Price shield.
Which ain't not too bad.
Yeah,
it looks like every runner is making the play to Eastern except for SunsOut, but he did the play on the early play on Hyrule, so.
Yes, he did. Now, what the runners are probably going to be surmising from this, especially after finding the flute, is they're probably going to have to immediately go up to Death Mountain and check it for all it has.
I wouldn't be surprised if JTB goes there first instead of Eastern, because it's just so obvious. Like, Sphere 0, Hookshot, Hammer, and Flute. Sphere 0 meaning all items you can get without any other item. So Eastern Palace, parts of it are Sphere 0, but parts of it are not.
Yeah, because of the lamp lock areas, which Smight is about to go sequence break.
And JTB save and reset into the wrong location.
Yep. To get that flute activated, you gotta go to Kakariko, and it's a little faster from up at Sanctuary.
Unless you play Entrance Shuffler and Sanctuary.
It might not be.
Sanctuary is just chilling in Hyrule Castle, and you're like, oh well.
It'd be kind of funny if Sanctuary was at the top of like the exit to Death Mountain.
Unfortunately, because it has a drop attached to it, it can actually only be attached to other like drop exits.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Entrance, so it would make sense.
But I was playing a few entrances the other day, did a normal seed, and like kept forgetting to save and quit Sanctuary.
Whoops.
You spend 3 hours saving quit in to get to Kakariko.
Ooh. Smight can finish the dungeon now.
That was a almost vanilla bow in a way.
Yeah, almost. And it was a very risky gamble, but it's going to pay off in spades. He can take the one dip in Easter and not have to come back.
Wow. Well, I mean, so like that flute is like a red herring almost. They can actually complete pod when they get access to Dark World. But they have to have done Eastern.
Yeah, they will have to have done Eastern, which Smight ideally is going to try and finish out here.
Oh man, I don't know when these runners will end up there.
Yeah, that bow might elude the other two for some time. Smite's lucky he found it so early.
See, now that's the kind of gamble that you get to make in these runs, and it puts you nicely ahead.
Very nicely ahead. JTB is making the play up on Death Mountain, whereas it would appear SunsOut is actually going into Eastern. Top of Spectacle Rock has nothing of note. nor the inside of it. So JTB is now going to probably go check out the right side locations, maybe do Hera before doing Spiral Cave. Though you can't finish Hera and it's also a pendant, it's still probably worth checking for something, because you had to come here. It'll depend on what they find. Smight, meanwhile, on his way to the Armos Knights, might want to go stock up on a few more arrows before going in.
Yeah, so Smight Light is going to be significantly ahead. Oh, well, Suns Out, Guns Out might not be too far behind.
Yeah, Suns Out decided to also go to Eastern and may not be too far behind. Armos did not have anything of worth on them, but that bow is still valuable information. Oh, Blue Mail is in Paradox Cave, by the way. Nice little bit of extra safety that these runners have. Even though they have a ton of hearts already, it makes it even better off for them. And there's Power Glove in the upper part of Paradox Cave, along with the first sword.
Oh.
And the Moon Pearl. Hello, Dark World.
Well, hello, Dark World. How are you doing today?
Paradox Cave, more like go to Dark World Cave.
Now, so it's gonna be interesting to see if these runners do Hera. A lot of people just consider Hera like a cave on Death Mountain. Like, it's so quick. Unless
it's a very quick dungeon. And actually, no, they can clear. I forgot about the Fire Rod.
Now,
Smight can't, because he still has not checked Uncle for the Fire Rod.
Now, alternatively to that, the runners will, like, if they do that, it'll be interesting to see if they skip it if it's basement required. A lot of runners will do it if they can just clear out the top, because the top takes like 2 minutes at most, and then you just get out of the way.
Well, if it is basement required, Smight will have no choice. He still does not have a fire source.
Now, they don't actually have that. Well, actually, they just got Dark World access, and they're one item away from Swamp Palace, which is one of those harder to unlock dungeons.
Yeah.
Oh, one item's already dead. So this is either 50-50 chance of being a big or small key right here.
Suns Out, meanwhile, making his way slowly but surely towards the bow he needs.
Ooh.
And it is a basement locked Hera.
And JTB is
got to go to do it. Smight actually making the smart play here and actually checking Uncle before he goes up to Death Mountain fully.
Yes,
he will be rewarded for that, and will get the Fire Rod he would need to otherwise do Hera in its entirety.
Now, I think, like, with Fire Rod, it's not too bad to do, like, Escape. I wonder if he'll do the sewers. Because with Fire Rod, it's
might choose to make that dip into Escape. Because he hasn't done that yet either.
I don't know though. With Flute, it's like it's up in the air, like what you do. There's so many more items.
Flute not only gives you flexibility, but it does again really want you to go to Death Mountain because you have the items to do that right side. JTP is now out of the one of the longest rooms in the game, tile rooms.
Yeah, they are. I can't remember how long tile rooms are, but it's at least a minute, I think.
Yeah, I would say they run close to a minute, if not just over that. Because if I was to rough estimate, it takes about 3 seconds for a tile to lift up, and there's about 22 of those. JTB will have to walk back upstairs, though, opting to not set up for a death warp with the blue mail.
Yeah, you have to. That switch has to be hit, or else you are. JTB having issues in this room.
Yeah. One thing I tend to forget, though, and JTB thankfully not, is you have to hit that switch one more time on the way up, or you're going to have a time getting back to the other side.
SunsOut actually died in 2 rooms. Oh, no, never mind. He has a
One
fairy.
of the bottles they got earlier has a fairy, though, so he's safe for now.
That's probably why JTB didn't set up for a death warp then.
Yes, I forgot about that fairy. He would have just wasted it in its entirety.
Oh, don't tell me Smight set up for death warp. I just saw him, like, walk through, guys. Please don't forget about your fairy.
Well,
does he never? No, he has 2 bottles, so he has that fairy.
He definitely has 2 bottles. And let's face it, the "oh crap, I have a fairy" scenario has happened to almost everybody at some point when playing Rando.
Yeah. Some worse than others.
Yep. Suns Out going to go into his Armos fight after farming for ammo. JTB going to the middle floor of Hera. And Smight not opting for the Death Warp, which, again, is the play he needs to make.
Yeah. Which it means, unfortunately, we won't be seeing that early...
Yeah, the Dark Room, unless he really decides to go for it. He might, but he may have also just picked this location for convenience to
JTB
walk
forgetting
out.
he has Hookshot. Or I guess...
No, I think he's walking out of...
Oh, that was half magic! Wow.
Oh, JTB just took a death.
That was Death Warp, but... Well, attempted Death Warp. Because he's done in this dungeon.
Yeah, if there's no need to kill Moldorm, then you may as well just leave him for later.
Well, it's not a crystal, so...
Yeah. Because if it, like the only reason you'd have to come up and kill Moldorm at this point is if it's a ped seed, which at this point we don't have enough information to discern. Smight considered going to get the old man, but I guess he decided against it in the end. JTB's gonna go do Spiral Cave. Sun's not gonna go activate his flute.
So they might not have much equipment. They're gonna have the sword before they go to Dark World. Now, it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, lots of runners will opt to check Hera, and if it's basement, they won't. And it's not actually required, but that half magic might speed up JTB's run.
Yeah, it will be more convenient for JTB to, say, use an invincibility item if he needs to, or just spam Fire Rod on a boss like Trinex or Cold Stare. Smight opting to check Desert instead of the right side of Death Mountain.
Well, no, he'll do it first. He's doing this first.
I think he's doing this because it'll take about the same time for him to walk down the mountain towards the right side. So he'll check Agina's Cave, which is a location that a lot of runners will forget about sometimes.
It's not forgetting, it's putting it off. I know a lot of people will wait till Desert's available, or it's the last possible option.
It's very out of the way. JTB looks like he's going to give us our first glimpse of Dark World in the area near Hype Cave.
This is probably the most, with the Hookshot, this is the best way you can actually just do a full loop of Dark World. You can literally go all the way around. Now, he doesn't have the bow like the other runners do. Suns Out is...
Which will make it interesting to see when he goes to get that.
Suns Out, I think, might be an old man's cave. I actually missed it.
Yes, I believe he is. He's trying to work his way through with the old man. Did not see what Agina had. I don't think it was anything of note. And Hype Cave has a mirror in it, but that's it.
I mean, the mirror's pretty big. That's a walk straight to swamp. Don't pass go. Finish possible crystal. But he's up to not to, but that's gonna actually
because he lacks flippers.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
The mirror, however, does allow him to
check
route
literally
more
everything
conveniently and check other areas that he wouldn't have been able to check otherwise.
I wouldn't be surprised. No flippers probably means no catfish plus Zora check.
Both Smight and SunsOutGunsOut going to check Paradox Cave now, where they will get stocked up on the equipment that JTB's found. JTB checking the pyramid. Probably the best time he's got to check it since he's doing this full loop.
Yeah, this is gonna be a full loop around the world, including... Oh, there's a...
That is potentially important.
Yeah, especially considering we know where Ether is. Oh, he's saving.
Oh, he's saving.
Probably going to...
I guess he's just gonna go to the Thieves Town portal.
Yep.
Or... Oh, he's got the flute, right.
I don't like that, because you're right.
You don't get the heal, but yeah.
Well,
then you're also right there, so it's like...
No, I was saying that I didn't like that because he's missing the north side. He could just have walked through the world. I think it would have been faster.
Yeah, I guess he might be thinking, I can't check like everything, like the Blanc Rocks or the King's Tomb, so I don't see too much of a point of going up there. But Graveyard Cliff Cave tends to be one of those locations that comes back to bite you in the rear later if you didn't check it when you could.
Yeah, so we're going to do a Hera check here, it looks like.
Yep, and I would not be surprised to see a map check from JTB in a minute when he decides to go to either Thieves Town or Skull Woods from his current venue.
It's not going to change his decision on Stallwoods. It's a crystal.
Myers got green pendant. Ice has blue pendant. The other important crystal is in Thieves Town.
Okay, so that's not too bad. So Meyer, but we already have the flute, but flute and mirror might actually just be saying go to desert.
They might be saying go to desert, but
rather
using Titans for that.
Yeah, rather than it being like, oh, you have flute, so I guess Meyer is the play. It might actually be, no, this is actually just how you're gonna get to desert because book is in GT. So.
Yeah. JTB checking the typical value dungeon that is Skullwoods.
Yeah, for people who maybe are curious on, oh, how does the randomizer decide what is, where things go? It's actually not super complicated at its base. It basically just decides what is required, so what dungeons, where green pendant and like the other, like basically decides where are the pendants and crystals. Then it just goes, hey, now I'm gonna make a random list of places, and then I'm gonna make a random list of items. I'm gonna keep placing these items on this random list, and every time it tells me I can't, and then it just keeps going through that list until it builds it. So that's why you get weird things like flute is in GT, but you need Samaria, which is in its vanilla location. So you have to get flute in GT, etc. It just basically decides that way. It's really interesting to look into.
Yeah. It would appear that JTB forgot he did not have the big key, did the bomb jump to the big chest, and then realized he did not have it. And I believe SunsOutGunsOut made the decision to do Spiral Cave before Hera.
Interesting. That's a bit of a routing mistake, but just in how you do it.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it makes a little more sense to do Hera and then Spiral because it saves you a climb back up the mountain.
Yeah. Sees that it's useless, walks out.
I don't think JTB has found any of the items in Skullwoods yet, and well, there's one of them, so
now
I think he's done here.
No, he's got a fire rod and it's a crystal.
Oh yeah, no, he actually can just go kill the moth with a half magic fire rod.
I mean, he can kill it with a fighter sword. It just takes 16, I believe, shots. 16 slashes, 8 spins, some combination thereof.
Yeah. It would also count on Mothula not being rammed into the spikes, so he actually takes damage.
I mean, with the fire rod, it's you just kind of spam it, and he'll eventually die.
Smight gonna get his half magic and take the fall back down to the bottom.
Interesting. I don't know what he hasn't checked.
No, he's taking the fall to avoid the death warp, so he can check Spiral Cave.
But he yeah, okay, that made sense.
Because he still has that fairy and wants to save it for later. Oh, nice full magic drops there for JTB. That's very handy.
He was making sure to save all of his magic, too. He was like making a very specific, deliberate path to save magic.
I should probably save all my magics. He's like, no, please, go keep using your fire rod. Here, I'll help you. Smight gonna finish up at Spiral and probably start his Dark World tour.
So it only takes 8 fire rod shots. And the way that fire rod works is like it leaves a little bit of a like it stays on the screen as a damage for a bit.
Yeah, it sticks around.
Which is why even if you hit Moth into the spikes with fire rod, he'll bounce back fast enough to get hit by the fire rod again.
Yeah, that's why it's usually easier to kill him with the fire rod than most other weapons. I think Temperate Sword sometimes has it a little bit easier.
Well, Temperate Sword only takes 4 hits, so you can just kind of spam it, like spam the slash, and eventually he'll just kind of die, and you're just gonna spend less time. So that's why Temperate is probably the safest.
JTB going back in to get, I think it's either the big key or the item he missed. Smight gonna go to Hype Cave and go get the mirror. And get his map check. SunsOut is going to get his half magic. We'll see what he decides to do from here.
Oh, Sun's
Looks like he's going to opt to kill Moldorm.
That made sense. Just don't want. It saves time if it's a pedestal seed, and again, you can make these safer plays.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't maybe make in a 1v1 just to make sure you don't get burned later. So it'll be interesting to see what what Smight ends up choosing to do.
He's gonna take the left path towards the town, and I mean, it makes some sense because he has the mirror and can just use that to get to the other portal back in the Kakariko village. But at the same time, it may make a little more sense to just go from the right and take the full tour of the Dark World.
Oh, I like the idea of just going full circle around Dark World.
Yeah, given they have the means to do it, I'm surprised none of them decided to do it. JTB entering Thieves Town and gonna get our first check of this area. Red ball. So that is the 4th bottle. We know where all the bottles are. 3 of them have red goo in them.
And there's the lamp.
Oh, in the Haunted Grove.
Interesting spot for it.
Now, I guess SunsOutGunsOut did not check Spectacle Rock yet. That's why he's over here.
I would assume so. Well, he could enter.
Yeah, I didn't see him kill Moldorm. I think
Cave.
he may have changed his mind after a fall.
He's not going to choose to do Spite Cave. So, like, all these runners actually had the option to do Spite Cave while they were here, but, like, it's not in logic.
Ooh,
So
Master Sword in the chess game.
Ooh.
Extra power spike is nice for someone who's about to enter Thieves Town. Doesn't help for blind, helps for everything else.
Yeah, it does. Having Master Sword for this dungeon helps fairly significantly.
Oh, speak of. There's another one in Dig Game.
Wow, so Smite's going to enter...
With Tempered, potentially.
Oh, was that the book? No, it was the cape. Okay. JTB has the cape now.
He also has the book, it seems.
Oh, so maybe it was a book then.
I think that was in one of the other houses in the town. I just neglected it.
Yeah.
Checked it.
It was the book. He already had the cape. Sweet.
So it was like one or the other with those.
Cape was in Skull Woods. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, Smight is making the call of, I have the green light to completely finish Pod, let's go do it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot that JTB and Smite have different signals. And with the Master Sword, you definitely feel a lot better doing this. Now, JTB will probably have tempered momentarily, maybe even the lamp. Probably the lamp.
Yeah.
Once he's done Thieves Town. Sun's out.
Gonna get his mirror.
Yeah, he'll get his mirror. We'll see what he does. Again, with the items that Smight has, this is like the best possible.
Yeah, it's
setup
a
you can have
very
for this dungeon.
It's a very good setup that tells him to go to Pod, and it's one that allows him to finish it without having to come back, regardless of where the keys are.
Well, it also has more to do with the fact that the mirror makes this dungeon like
a lot faster. Yeah.
This is kind of the mirror tutorial dungeon. It's got a bunch of dead end areas that you either have to back check a bunch, or you just go to the main like net of it almost.
Yep. Alright, that key means that when JTP comes in here, he will be able to check some of the dungeon if he does not have the bow prior. Sun's out. Appears to be going towards the pyramid, but I'm not entirely sure where else he'll go after that.
We'll see. Like, you could always go to Catfish as a gamble. You could go with the northern side and just hit all the mirror spots. Check the cape spot.
I wouldn't mind Catfish. He's so out of the way. You may as well get him at a good time. And this actually would also let him check Zora if he did that. That he probably wants that Bombos. It's just handy to have, even if it's not one of our required medallions. So far for Smight, I believe it's been all business out in the front with keys, as we've said for Pod. JTB gonna make his way down to the bottom floor of Thieves and get the maiden from the cell. And what is SunsOutGunsOut doing here? Looks like he's gonna flute somewhere else. I guess he didn't check Ice Rod Cave yet. Alright, so far I think I've seen 3 items in Thieves.
Well, look at that. Yeah, JTB is the maiden. Or sorry, Smite's the maiden.
Smite's using the maiden.
Huh.
And that was a map, so I think Blind's got the last item.
Also, I hope that we get to see the bunny sprite for the maiden, because it's like an adorable looking blind. I love it. It's my favorite sprite in the game.
I don't think I've actually seen the bunny sprite for this one yet, so I'll be interested to see it when it does pop up.
It's a cute little, like, chibi blind.
Yeah,
it's
chibi
amazing.
blind.
He has a big head and a little body.
Smight is now off to where all the items are in the back of Pod. And JTB is going to start on the blind fight.
Oh, and there's the ice rod.
Well, they definitely needed that, and
Well,
they're actually a Cane of Samaria and whatever medallion it needs away from entering that dungeon.
Wow, and Titans.
Oh, and Titan Smiths. Flippers are also in Pod. Interesting.
Wow. So,
So
dang.
Mike can now go to Swamp.
Power gloves need to be somewhere JTB can access, or else Smite's gonna start running away with this game right now.
Good job with the blind fight, by the way, JTB.
Yeah.
Was very, very clean, very quick. Didn't even take any damage from the looks of it. Suns is doing fake flippers, I think, to Hobo now, from the looks of it. No, he's gonna do the War Walk. Not a bad play, given he has that Moon Pearl. Save him some time.
Checking Overworld in V26, though.
That's the only problem. V26 is known a lot to have their items in dungeons. Case in point, there's your Titan's Mitt, also in Palace of
Wow! That bow play from Smight!
has pulled way ahead with that, with having gone to get that bow when he did.
Oh my goodness, all he needs is Samaria and the medallions.
And maybe boots.
Maybe boots. We'll see what desert is laid out.
Smight has gotten a
Jeez.
really good set of items laid out in front of him, and Pod was loaded to the brim. Sun's out going to go check Zora off his checklist. Whereas JTB, it looks like he'll probably be getting his lamp in a minute if he goes to check that mirror ledge.
You know, I never noticed. What is SunsOutGunsOut sprite?
It's Kirby.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I wasn't able to tell it was
It's a lot
Kirby.
from Zora.
Oh. Okay, so JTB is about to get his lamp,
Yep.
and this
Now-
might lead him to Eastern,
Yeah, I'm not sure what
but he'll
lamp...
probably go to Desert.
Yeah, lamp is giving JTB different signals than it is Smite.
It's actually giving him a heavy signal to
Yeah,
Desert.
and we know the Titan's mitts are in pods, so it's not like he can check the mire area for anything either. He's just gonna go straight in, maybe check Agina's cave on the way out.
So now, all the runners are saved if Pedestal is or if Adenum is required. Oh, not really, because it's not good. It's not all be required to do it, man.
We need to know if Ether Medallion is required for Turtle Rock, because if it is, then Aghanim does have to happen.
Now, where's Bombos again? That Smite
It's
doesn't have
on the
it.
pyramid. Smite hasn't
Right,
gone over
Smite
there
hasn't.
yet. He went straight to pod with the flute. And he's gonna go right into his Helmasaur fight now. Sun's up, gonna go check Skullwoods from the looks of his movement. And we are boots locked in Desert.
Oh.
There's a small key on the torch, so boots are added to that list of items we need to find.
Okay, well that kind of saves everyone a little bit from Smite's like completely dominating. He's just doing this fight vanilla, just wildly swinging at Halmasaur. It's pretty much how you're supposed to do that fight.
I mean, you could have shot him with just the normal arrows too, which is also.
Oh, that's not a good idea. That's really hard to do.
But it's hard to do when he's moving around so fast.
It's definitely much better to just slash at him because you can just chase him around.
I've seen a couple of runners use the bow for him. It depends on how cooperative he's willing to be.
I'll do it with fighter sword. It's not too bad.
So Smight now has his second crystal under his belt, which JTB does have two as well. They're just different crystals. Smight is going to flute away, so Bombos is not going to be in his possession for a bit still, probably. But he is going to go probably do Skull Woods now. And that'll be a Master Sword against Mothfield, which at least feels a bit better than the Fighter Sword that JTB had to use. But it would appear SunsOutGunsOut is going to be in that same boat, because he hasn't found either of the swords that Smight or JTB have found yet. I believe the Bombos tablet had a load of nothing on it. Yep, another big 20. And I believe someone checked the Gina earlier. He had nothing as well, just more money. So it's Boots, Kane, and whatever the medallion for T-Rock is. That is what we need to know to be in go mode.
And always what's on pedestal. You always need to know that as well.
Yep, which JTB could check.
Yeah.
But he's going into Pod.
No, Eastern.
No, he's going into Eastern.
Although
this will technically be slower, because if he was going to do this in a quicker fashion to check Pod as well, he would have wanted to hit that dark portal first. Or is he changing his mind again? Oh, I think he's doing exactly what I said. He's going to go dark first.
He realized, wait a second, I have the mirror.
It's like, oh, I want to do Dark Palace after this. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
I want to do Dark Palace if I find this bow here. But, like, seriously, like, Smight can do almost everything.
The only things he can't check right now are some of the fetch quest items, which we don't want to find if we can help it.
Yeah. Well, he has,
and bonk locations.
Yeah. I mean, he has access to so many dungeons right now.
Yeah.
He can clean up most of the game.
He can clean out ice, which
he doesn't have to avoid ice.
Actually, he doesn't have to do ice. I forgot where the crystals were.
We'll probably be seeing a swamp play after.
We'll probably see swamp. Yeah, swamp after Skull and Thieves. And I guess he can also check the dark half of Death Mountain that we didn't get to see yet, too.
Oh no, no, JTB. Bias is fine, but it's just like it doesn't make actually much of a difference now that I think about it.
Yeah, really the difference is he can still get to the back with the keys layout. He's just gonna have to do the bow path on his way back in. It's gonna cost him a tiny bit of time.
He might not have to if he's like there were no required items on the right side, correct?
No, but I believe there was a key, and if he uses all his keys here, he'll need that key.
He may be able to play this in such a way he doesn't have
Actually, I think the big key was on the right side.
Oh, was it? Okay, then yeah, he'll have to come back. But I mean, that's fine, because then he has to do that side anyway.
Smight and SunsOutGunsOut both on Mothula right now. SunsOut trying to use his cape to buy himself some time. Smight gonna try and burn the bug.
So the reason why I'm saying that this isn't gonna be too bad for JTB is, yes, he has to quote unquote double dip, but he's gonna mirror out when he's done the
it's a very simple.
It's almost not a double dip because he'll mirror out anyway.
It almost isn't one. Smight finishes up his moth fight. SunsOut had to down a red potion in order to get through this one. And he's going to try and finish it with the fire sword. Almost going to die again. Oh! And down he goes.
Smight gets the boss down though. We
Smight
won't
gonna
be
go back
seeing
in
a
and get that.
pedestal read though.
No, we won't, because I think the only one with the book right now is JTB.
Mm-hmm.
SunsOut's deciding he'll come back and kill the moth later, when he is more well-equipped. That's where the cape was. It was in Skullwoods.
Mm-hmm.
JTB picks up his ice rod, probably happy to find that there and not somewhere across Hyrule that's a little harder to get to. Now, with the cave in possession, have any of our runners taken a peek at over what was on Bumper Cave?
I don't believe anyone has. I could totally see Smight check in really quick.
Yeah, he's right there. It wouldn't be a long check. It's usually the best time is when you're near the Skullwoods area.
Yeah, it's a pretty common route, and I've seen this in like 1 or 2 other seeds where people who got cape in Skullwoods or near Skullwoods just kind of walked over here.
I guess we're gonna find out right now. As soon as he gets rid of the Dark World Crows, the Murrodactyls. Just an arrow expansion.
Nope, not needed. Is he? Yeah, he's also going to check the graveyard here.
Yeah, not a terrible idea. And with Flu, it doesn't really lose him any time at all.
Mm-hmm.
JTB has got his Titan's mitts now. And he, I believe, does he have his flippers at this point? I think he does. Yeah, he does. Flippers, Ice Rod, and Titans for JTB. SunsOut gonna get that Master Sword he would have hoped to have had for the Moth.
Oh no, he's floating away. What are you
he's
doing? No!
He's gonna do swap now.
Oh.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. I don't believe Smight found anything up in the cave ledge on the graveyard. Not that I saw. And it looks like he's gonna route Catfish into this real quick.
Yeah, it makes sense. And again, we have... Well, he's edged around all of Zora area.
Yeah, he can do that, the Waterfall Cave, because he already checked Hobo. This works out very handedly for Smight. He can just check everything. It looks like he might be going to check Parrot Burst, though.
Yep, or he might just not be doing Catfish. That's also a possibility.
True.
He has so much overworld that, like... He's probably just looking for that one item. Like, he might... I don't know when he'll check Dark World.
SunsOut, Guns Out, went into Thieves. I believe he found book in one of the early chests. If he brings up the menu, we'll know that one for sure. Smight gonna go pick up his Bombos. That'll be the last one to this. We still don't know how important Bombos is going to be for this. And JTB makes the plunge into Swamp Palace. And it looks like Smight is actually going to go up to Catfish and Zora. Now... much as Swamp is probably the right play to make, it is one of those dungeons where it doesn't feel great to have to full clear it.
But, I mean, at the same time, he also has access to Death Mountain, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm sold on the Swamp play.
Yeah, the problem is you got Titan's Mitt, you got Flippers, all at the same time, both at the same time in Palace of Darkness. It opens up Death Mountain, it opens up Swamp,
Well,
and
the thing is
the Titan's Mitt also opens up Ice Palace.
Right,
but
Dark
it's not
Death
somewhere they want
Mountain
to go.
is 7 items that are really, really, really close together, and you get the information on Turtle Rock. So I think Dark
Turtle
Death
Rock's
Mountain
information is
correct.
very important for these guys right now too, because if it's Ether, they gotta make that dive sooner rather than later for Aghanim. And we're not gonna know that for some time. That suspense is gonna be building until someone finally decides to go up and check the turtle.
it doesn't matter that any of this is bow locked by logic because like the bow's right there. Like it doesn't matter. He won't like nothing is actually locked behind the bow.
Well, I think JTB just found silver, so now he's really looking for his bow. So Swamp is going to be the holder of our silver arrows, and if the runners don't come here, they might skip those. Depending on the timing of it. SunsOut's heading to Maiden Blind. Smight does a save and quit after checking Zora, which is always the right play. You don't want to have to walk out of that place if you can help it. And... oh, he's checking back of escape. I forgot, we haven't actually... have we seen this from anybody yet?
I feel like
SunsOut might have done it. I feel like someone did it. But I guess we'll find out in a second. Yeah, chat's saying SunsOut did. That's what I thought. Smite's just gonna get the last chest while he's here. JTB making sure, A, to have the switch in the right position, and B, to not flood the key. Both very important for success in Swamp Palace. Now, it'll be interesting to see what this chest in the dark part of escape is, because they could have actually sequence broke to this a lot earlier if they were willing to with their fire sword traverse in the dark. But it appears to be only money, so... oh, Cane of Samaria in Swamp Palace as well. Which means this dungeon is definitely necessary, and that actually might give JTB access to Turtle Rock if the pendant is Bombo, if the medallion is Bombos. SunsOut dealing with Blind, and Smight taking another trip to Dark. We're probably going to do the Thieves Town area now. SunsOut has beaten Blind. Looks to have done pretty well with it too. JTB still looking for that big key.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. You just won't find the big key until the end. Sometimes it's just locked in a dungeon item, so you don't have to go back. But
and sometimes Argus has it, which sucks. Smight has gotten his Tempered Sword now, and is going to be going into Thieves Town. Should have a pretty easy time with it with that Tempered Sword now. This will be his fourth crystal.
Smight is absolutely in the lead right now, like commandingly.
Yeah, he has, I think, the best read on this seed because he found that bow when he did.
Yeah, he found the bow very, very, very early.
Granted, he found it before the seed said he was supposed to, but he still found it. JTB... he's debating about going back up for that big chest, and it looks like he's going to. He's going to get caught on that staircase. And SunsOut going to go get his Tempered Sword from the dig game. So let's see whether this trip back for JTB was worth it, because if this big chest has nothing, which it had an item, so it's a good thing it came back, it still doesn't feel great, though. SunsOut now, I think, finally gonna get his lamp, which will give him more information about what's going on here. Oh, and I think the bunny blind did happen. I missed it on the... yep, there it is. That is pretty cute.
SunsOut getting his lamp now.
Yep.
Probably will make that play back to Eastern, because he has that.
Well, SunsOut finished Eastern, so his next move would be Pod. Which is exactly where he's going.
It's not always the boots in V26.
Yeah, it's not always boost that we're looking for all the time. Sometimes you get the boost really early and you're looking for the bow instead.
Or the ice rod. I mean, we had a seed with fire rod earlier. It's almost like the randomizer is living up to its name now.
JTB fighting Argus. Dealing with the R guy is going to be very easy given the Tempered Sword. They die in one hit to that.
And there is a combo that you can do. You can actually one-cycle Argus.
Yeah, I think you have to hold
this.
I think you have to hold your sword out in front of you and just poke the R guy as you pull them to you.
Nope. It's you shoot two. Oh no, I'm talking about the kill. You can one-cycle Argus's actual self. You can shoot out 2 fire rod shots.
2 fire rod shots and a spin. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll stun lock him in a corner. There's a very specific timing though, because if you wait too long or you do it too quickly, he'll still go up anyway. If you do it too quickly, then the iframes come into play. If you do it too late, then he is able to escape.
And even if you miss it, he dies to 4 fire rod hits as is. And I think it's like 2 tempered spins even, so it's not going to take long to kill him even with the current equipment. JTB going to rescue the old man now. Sun's out, starting his descent into pod.
Honestly, JTB isn't actually that far behind Smight, other than the fact he hasn't completed 2 crystals, and he'll have to double dip. I still am not counting pod as a double dip, because he literally just mirrored out and then mirrored into Light World. The only part that's a double dip is having to actually walk back to the dungeon.
Yeah, because he decided to mirror.
Yeah, if he had actually gone into Eastern and grabbed that bow, that wouldn't have been a double dip. The JTB is probably going to check Dark World Death Mountain now.
He might check T-Rock too. He has all the items to enter it.
Yep.
And clear it.
He's probably thinking that's where the bow is. Doesn't want to do Swamp, or no. Or he did Swamp, and there was actually only Samaria in there, and it was left side.
Well, there were also silver arrows in there, which are at least important.
Yeah.
Depending on when the other runners get to Swamp, if it's in a go mode scenario, they may skip those silvers entirely. And they're not in a terrible chest either. They're in the one just south of the big key chest.
That one you'll never check and go.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. It's just you wouldn't check it. And that means they may not get the silvers depending on when they go there. Blind down for Smight. And JTB is going to give us a look at Super Bunny Cave in just a minute when he falls down to where those 2 chests are.
They have Samaria, and it's from left side Swamp, so Swamp is required.
Left side Swamp. Swamp is indeed required.
The whole thing.
Smight picks up his 3rd bottle. Hookshot Cave next. Doob, yes, Hera has been dipped into and cleared. There was half magic inside. So far, Hookshot Cave is only wielding money. There's Red Mail. That's nice. Very nice.
And let's go see what Turtle Rock is, because...
Well, is it Ether? This is a very important thing for us to find out.
I mean, all that means is that the seed's extended by 5 minutes.
It is.
Wow. Well, seed's extended by about 5 minutes longer than it should be.
So I think with knowing this information, as soon as JTB finds Boots, he's gonna go take care of Aghanim.
Boots double required.
But the thing we know is they're not in Turtle Rock. Based on where he's going, he's gonna do Burn a Spike Cave. Smight meanwhile taking care of Peg Cave. And he's gonna do the Smiths. And JTP is also gonna check the Ether tablet while he's up here. Sun's out getting his flippers.
JTB checking the Ether tablet. Might see Spike Cave as well.
He's up here. He may as well give it the old check. The Smiths were working on a piece of heart this entire time. And since Smite's done the whole lower route already, I wouldn't be surprised to see him, just mirror and flute straight over to the location he has to get this opened. Over to Gary. Sun's not gonna go get those Titan mitts, and has all the important stuff he needs to know for where he's going next. Not gonna bother checking the big chest even.
Yeah, there's no reason to. He's actually done it in such a way that he now knows that all the chests left are useless, so...
Yeah, they're useless, so it's gonna save him a little bit of time. So...
just go straight to the boss.
The question is, where is JTB going to go now? Knowing this. It looks like he's gonna go dive into Ice Palace.
Oh.
Interesting.
Did he not check?
I would have probably checked the Mire area before coming up to Ice. There he's checking.
Oh. Nope.
Nope, just the island.
Oh?
And he's going
I don't know where we're going.
Smight is going to make the play on Swamp. We'll get his Cane of Samara and Silver Arrows from this. But
I just need the boots.
Means the item we need for Go mode is boots, which...
could be pendant. Pedestal, sorry. Could be pedestal.
It could be pedestal. And it's also very possible they could be in Ice Palace or in Misery Mire. And no one's checked the pedestal. I think because Sun's Out still has to do Moth, he might be the one who checks it first, if someone doesn't make the decision on their own. So JTB decided to swim his way back down, so I am now fairly certain he's going to make the play for Ice Palace. Or actually, no, he hasn't done Zora yet. That's what he's doing right now.
I think before you do Ice Palace, you would check the like what they said. You check the pedestal.
Yeah, just to make sure you don't have to go into that dungeon fully.
Because there's still some overworld you can check, and the dungeons that are left that we have access to are awful to find the boots for.
Yeah. The only place we know they're not right now in terms of pendant dungeons is Hera, due to the fact we cleared it out. And because between Ice and Mire we only have 5 items to find, it's really not enticing to do either.
Right, it's better to just check what few overworlds left first. It's gonna be faster, and then just you do Ice first, because you have you've had all the items for it. Like after overworld, you check that.
Though it would certainly be interesting if we had a vanilla boots, because Green Pendant is in Mire.
Oh,
so couldn't have them.
Tashrilla could have them. Yeah.
Helmasaur is now down for Suns Out, Guns Out, so that's his 3rd crystal acquired.
I think you would go to Mire area. I think Smite's best place to go to Mire area and do that overworld, like those 3 items.
Yeah. He might check Dark Death Mountain first, just so he knows what the deal is with Turtle Rock. Because JTB is the one who's checked that. And he is now going to check the back of Escape and be fairly disappointed with what he finds. Sun's Out actually making the play to go to Mire now. So the question now becomes, what does this dungeon need? Because if it's also Ether, the boots can't be here either. Nor could they be on Ped. It is Ether, so both of those are now dead, along with Sahasrara.
Oh, wow.
So I think the boots are in Ice Palace. Or out here outside of Mire. Because we're very low on locations to check.
So, boots aren't on...
Boots aren't on Ped because we need, Ether to enter a pendant dungeon, and the Ether is boots locked.
Yeah, so pedestal's dead.
So the pedestal is dead. Sahasrara is dead. Mire is dead. Yeah, the Fat Fairy is also dead because of the fact that Desert was boots locked as well. Well, Pyramid Fairy. So, yeah, I think all signs point to Ice.
Yep. So it turns out like the best place that Smight can make would be Ice Palace. Now, one of these years, JTB may end up in Battlefield Eastern. I don't know when.
Yeah. He's now gonna go check the Mire area. Smight is gonna go get his cane of Samaria. And he knows now that he doesn't know what Turtle Rock is, but he knows that his main focus right now is to find those boots. As soon as he finds those, he can beeline to Aghanim, get the Ether Medallion that he needs, and can just sweep through the remaining dungeons he has to do. Which at this point are Desert and Turtle Rock. I think SunsOut's going to make the Desert play here. I think he's actually going to steal a key from the back based on this. Yeah, there's so many locations it can't be now. That cut off so much by not being able to go into Mire. Yeah, I think it has to be Ice Palace. There's no other overworld location we haven't seen at this point.
JTB is probably the most frustrated though, like just completely going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although I suppose the boots could be behind another fetch quest. Those could also be an Ice Palace.
Oh, chat, we might be getting pedestal hype anyway.
Yeah, it looks like
we did hype with. Oh no, never mind. I thought maybe we were gonna get pedestal chat hype.
potentially, but no. JTB kind of teased us a little bit there and decided to go in another direction.
JTB could think it's Bo.
He could at this point think it's Bo, but you wouldn't think that without at least checking.
If he forgot how the logic works, he could think it's Bo.
Yeah, he could. He's checking
couldn't.
Bumper Cave now.
Yeah.
Which we know doesn't have anything of note either. So I guess the worst chain of events for these boots right now would be like shovel, powder, and mushroom in like a full chain.
Yeah, I mean, people always talk about that as an option, but it would require like such astronomical luck.
Yeah, it would be such a finite and low chance of happening that it's not going to happen. SunsOut checking Nagina's cave before he leaves the desert area. JTB is checking some of the overworld locations that we know Smight has already taken a look at, like the Graveyard Cliff. And Smight is very soon going to be fighting Argus, which will net him his 5th crystal.
And all he needs are 2 thins or boot slots, so that's where the adventure begins.
Which is why those boots are so important right now. Smight did get Samari. He went all the way to left side, Mount Girl. JTB is, again, giving us a false pedestal read. And he's probably going to do Smiths, since he's back in this area again. Now, Smight could kill Argus with a silver arrow, but he's going to decide to just do sword spins here. Both are relatively quick. Plus, silver arrows can lose you more time if you can't hit Argus's odd little hitbox with the silver arrows. And JTB is starting the Smith chain. SunsOut making the play on Swamp. We know that's going to be a correct move on his part. Smight appears to be checking the Bombos tab because he hasn't checked it yet. We know this is not going to be anything.
Yeah, man, we just need him to go to ice. I don't know if he'll go there.
Yeah, just to catch people up on chat, the boots cannot be in Mire because the Ether Medallion is behind the Lumberjack Cave, which we need boots to reach.
Boots are in Ice Palace. It's a 100% certainty.
Yeah. Smite's gonna check the Mire area here, see that it's Ether. He may go up to the Death Mountain area and see that that is also Ether, and knows that Ice Palace is literally the only place left he can really check.
There was about 7 to 10 three-way ties. A few two-way ties. But those don't matter.
So just based on where the runners are right now, how much time would you say Smight has over the other two?
Over JTB, JTB is gonna check ice. He'll have to full clear it, still looking for the bow. Then he's gonna find the boots, and he's gonna finish. He might do literally everything. So
yeah, he might do literally everything else before he actually goes to Easter and finds his bow inside.
Over SunsOutGunsOut, he's probably got a dungeon over him.
Yeah.
SunsOutGunsOut has to go back to Stallwoods.
We might be wrong. JTB is going back into Eastern.
Oh, thank goodness.
He's finally gonna get his bow. And he unfortunately will have to hit the Dark World portal to finish Pod, but he can do that pretty quickly.
Oh, finally JTB. So JTB isn't actually that far behind it with this play then.
Yeah.
Just because of the oddness of this seed.
Now Smight has figured out now that the desert is also boots locked, so he knows that those boots are priority number 1. I would not be surprised. I think he's probably gonna check Dark Death Mountain because of the high quantity of chests that are at it. And after seeing the required medallion for Turok, we'll probably go to Ice Palace. So after finding his bow here, JTB will be missing the same information Smight is, which would be where are the boots.
Yeah, and so Smite's just gotta check some overworld that he hasn't checked yet. But for the most part, they're actually not too far behind now that JTB is making this play. SunsOut has had a few unfortunate deaths that have made him do light thins in weird orders. But he's not too far behind other than the Stallwoods. There's his chain of Samaria. Oh. So we've got JTB got his bow now. He's gonna finish this and Pod. Probably gonna feel very, very far behind both runners, and he'd be half right if it wasn't for everything that's going on in this seed. He does have all the other information that he needs. Yeah, Smight knows that boots are go mode. JTB also knows that boots are go mode. Believe he's being on Death Mountain. He knows that Ether's required, and Ether's at. I just can't remember if he checked. With 3 runners, it's hard to remember who checked what information. Oh, so what shot? Something's going on with your mic.
That better?
Yes. You've probably been talking the whole time.
My mute switch was toggled a bit. My mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, Smight probably gonna quickly check Ether and burn a Spike Cave, and JTB gonna go clear out Pod. They'll probably be close to neck and neck coming out of this. Sun's out entering the Argus fight.
Chat, I am gonna take out. I am feeling mighty ill. Jader G, I believe, is going to jump in.
And we will take it from there.
Yeah. Hey everyone, I enjoyed the commentary. I will still be listening while I go to sleep. Or while lying down in pain from my stomach. But otherwise, Jader gonna join us right now. Hey Jader.
Yep, there he is. Hi Jader.
Long story short, Ether, if you haven't been watching, Ether's at Lumberjack Tree. Boots are nowhere to be found.
Although everything is pointing to Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's
why
more
first try to
Cave.
go there is gonna have this pretty nicely.
Cool. So
Smight is done checking burn a Spike Cave, and is going to go to the old man for probably a quick reheal, and...
Oh, how was Spike Cave? Is it a good trip?
Smight is fluting, and he is going to ice. We should have our boots shortly. Sun's out, unfortunately, finding that the Vamos tablet did not have much of worth on it. He now is going to take the Dark World Dead Mountain check.
So
As JTB goes... Yeah, everything left is boot locked. The Ether medallion that we need for Turok is boot locked behind the Lumberjack Cave. Desert is boot locked. And since the Ether medallion is also used to open Mire, we literally have nowhere else to go other than Ice Palace. So as soon as Smight finds either... If he finds the boots, he'll leave immediately. If he finds a fetch quest item, he may continue just to make sure there's not anything else in here. JTB is going to finish out Pod now.
I'm a little surprised no one's done Aga yet, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah, Aghanim does have to happen, but the reason no one's done Aghanim yet is because only 2 of our runners know they have to do him, and they'd rather do it after they get the boots, so that they're not still looking for the boots.
Oh, okay.
Plus, then they can use the boots to actually go through the tower, which will speed up the trip a little bit. JTP gonna come back here and check the big chest. Seems to be setting up for a hammer jump. I believe he got it. Oh,
so any check on the pyramid yet?
Yeah, the golden pyramid outside has bombos. We cannot get to the inside because of desert being a 5/6. So the boots can't be there either. Smight doing the Ice Palace bomb jump. Gets it pretty quickly. And is now going to go delve deeper into Ice Palace. JTB is going to set up that hammer jump again. Running out of time.
I guess.
And nope, missed it again. SunsOut's going to get the items that are now in Hookshot Cave as Smight progresses to the right side of Ice Palace.
It's got the lantern. It's
Yeah, the lantern was at the Haunted Grove. Everybody's at least found that. Just so you know kind of how this came to be, Smight ended up doing the sequence break at Eastern without the lamp and finding bow. And it led him to most of the other items, because JTB found his bow like 10 minutes ago, because he didn't do Easter until now. And it's kind of put him slightly behind Smite's footsteps, but not by much. SunsOut did the same place Smight did, he's just fallen behind for other reasons.
It's always a shame seeing someone miss bomb jumps like that when it doesn't
Yeah.
save very much time, so you only go for it if you're confident in it. And
Yeah,
once you
to
miss
see
it,
it-
it really
To
breaks
see
you.
it miss twice like that does hurt, especially since that bomb jump is actually, I think, one of the more neater ones to watch.
Mhm.
Just because it's really precise and kind of just takes advantage of a small little mechanic within the game itself.
Yeah.
Alright, I believe the remaining chests Smight has left to check, 2 of them have items. And that means Cold Stare probably has one.
So if I understand the bomb yump, the hammer yump correctly, it's because when you're above pits, just collision doesn't bother
It just
detecting
doesn't work
because you're
correctly.
supposed
Also,
to
we
fall.
have Gomo. Smight has found the boots. He's just gotta get that
Nice.
ether.
In Ice Palace.
Yep. He's gonna go straight to
Won't go
Agony
there.
right now. And then he's gonna clear out his remaining 2 dungeons. So it's gonna be a very, very late Aghanim. 80 minutes into the run, we're now going to deal with Aghanim because we know we have to.
Wow. That's really late into the run.
Yeah, compared to most other times, you'd know within the first hour, sometimes even within the first 30 minutes. This was one of those instances where it's a medallion, we didn't know if we needed it. Funny enough, both the medallions were ethers, so it's entirely forced.
I did see a seed once where they didn't know that Aga was required at all. Not because of medallion or anything, but
For Dark World access.
yeah, for Dark World access.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you learn by playing the randomizer enough that sometimes you'll have to go through Aghanim to even get your access to Dark World in the first place, because the game won't give you the glove or the hammer that you need to get there, or even the Moon Pearl. SunsOut is going to go, I think, finally take care of Mothula. JTB about to finish off Helmasaur. And Smight making his climb up to Aghanim. So JTB has JTB at this point has the same information as Smight. He knows that the boots are in Ice Palace somewhere. I believe he's checked every other overworld location and knows they can't be in any other location dungeon-wise. We'll see what his flute here takes him to. If it's 8, we know for sure. Yep, he's going to Ice. Now, SunsOut actually had a chance to kill Moth earlier, but he was on Fighter Sword and ran out of Fire Rod shots, so he did not end up killing Moth. Moth ended up killing him. He decided to come back and do it now, when he was better equipped.
Such an awful boss.
Oh yeah, it certainly sucks, especially that early and with that little equipment. JTP is going to start his descent into Ice. If he skips right side, like the side that Smight checked, he will find the boots a bit faster and be able to make up a little bit of the time here that he's behind. That being said, it's SunsOutGunsOut right now who's really behind, and he's looking like the one who may not end up being able to progress. Also, we are coming up to Aghanim here, so why don't we get some guesses about how many blue balls we're going to see him launch today? The average guess is typically 3. I've seen a couple of bad Aghanims, though. I'm going to go with a 5.
Wow. I'm gonna go with 2. I'm gonna be nice.
Now, for those who do 52089, he needs to get to Lumberjack Cave. The Ether Medallion is behind it, and he needs the boots to access it, which is why he didn't do it sooner. Now, for those of you who have not seen Aga fights, or at least don't know how he works, Aga's first shot on every cycle is going to be a normal shot, and every 5th attack he will do a lightning attack at the top of the room. He will telegraph this every time. Now, Smight has a rare opportunity here. Is it 0? No, of course not. But only one. That's pretty nice. For a seed that you knew you had to go do Aghanim eventually, it didn't waste their time at all.
So I was half right, because half of 2 is 1, right?
Yes, you were. I was gonna say, I don't know if that makes you half right or doubly right, because you were 2 times the value that was said. So, Smight is not gonna go clear out his remaining dungeons after picking up Ether Medallion. JTB, I believe, did skip the right side entirely here, so if he kills these ice monsters, he will find those boots, and he will be ready to go to Aghanim, which is exactly what he's doing now. Suns Out, Guns Out, I believe... Did he do Moth, or did he die again? I'm fairly certain he would have succeeded that time.
I was too enthralled with the Aghanim match.
As were we all. But he does have other overworld locations to check, so he doesn't know the information of needing to get Ether yet. I guess the question now, actually this isn't really much of a question. Smight is going to clear Desert first, then Turtle Rock, because Turtle Rock is up near GT, and will save him time that way. Especially since they've already climbed the mountain twice already. So Smight is going to find Big Key somewhere on right side and then go. JTB opting to use silver arrows on these gold Mace Knights. Definitely a good idea. And Smight gonna go get that key off the torch now.
So it's pretty much, they've got everything they need to beat the game.
At this point, yes. Smight is in Go mode, has
see.
everything he needs to do the game. And there's nothing in GT that could stop him either. Because he's got Kane for right side, he's got Fire Rod for right side.
He's already got half magic, 3 bottles, tempered sword, silver arrows. Probably
Yeah.
won't be checking anything else.
I wouldn't check anything else at this point. He might find Butter Sword somewhere on the way, but even that he doesn't really need. He will probably, however, before going up to T-Rock, get a couple potions. Right now, though, since he found Big Key, he's going to go up to Lambos. It looks like Suns Out, Guns Out is... I think he's done Front of Escape already. I'm not sure if he's going to check that one chest that he hasn't checked yet, or if he's just going to do Aghanim now. It looks like he's going to do Aghanim now. He had to work this in somewhere, but he doesn't have boots yet, so he still has to look for those when he's done.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Is JTB the one that didn't check before?
No, Suns Out is the one who does not know what the medallion is currently. Well, actually, no, he went up to Hookshot Cave. He knows he needs Ether. He just hasn't gone to Ice for the boots. So, in terms of, like, placement here, Smight is in the front, JTB is a little bit behind him, and Suns Out, Guns Out is a little bit behind JTB. Smight is at the Lamolas, opting to use Fire Rod over the Silver Arrows. And it looks like his sword poked that one, which is why it didn't die. Still taken care of very quickly. Gets the map from the Moldorms. So, all Smight has left now is Turtle Rock, and Turtle Rock is one of those dungeons that doesn't actually become much faster in Go mode, because it's typically a dungeon you have to check every chest in regardless. The only time you might get lucky is if you can save a key and not have to go to Laser Bridge. And Smight is going to forego potions. Guess he's comfortable with what he has. I would have at least considered maybe grabbing 1 blue potion in the event of a magic mishap. But with half magic, he should be okay.
And 16 hearts is that.
Yep.
Since
16
he pretty
hearts,
much 100%
red
everything
mail.
else.
It's hard for any of the runners to die at this point. It's hard to fathom them dying. Running
Gotta
out of
be playing
magic on Ganon, that's
super
another
close.
story.
True.
JTP finishes his Aghanim and is gonna go immediately Mirror and Flute to go get his Ether. Sun's out about to be at Aghanim. Takes a small spill quickly before he gets to the end of the path. Yeah, I would agree with you there, chat. I personally, I'm not that good at it myself. I tend to grab a blue potion or two before entering T-Rock and Ganon, just in case something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard to hit Trinex's head.
Yeah. Trinex mishaps happen a lot. So I guess the question now is, with what we have left, what other junk will we find in T-Rock that we don't need?
A couple of shields.
Yeah, there are shields we could find, some fetch quest items. We still have a
Then that would
medallion
be
we
nice.
haven't found. We do know, however, where the fourth bottle is. It's on top of the library, and I don't think anyone has that bottle yet. No one should have more than 3 bottles right now. Because everybody who's
Looks
gotten
like
boots has
SunsOut
been
has
go
4.
mode immediately afterwards.
Wait. SunsOut can't have 4. Okay, it was just a misclick.
Yeah. Now, another important thing here, too, when it comes to potential skipping laser bridge is where the big key is. And Smight has not found it yet. If it's not in the Chomp Room chest, it's in its vanilla location, which is actually going to cost another key. Now, I'm fairly certain SunsOut only has 3 because the 4th one's in the library.
Maybe it did a bottle dupe. He's doing RBA.
Chomp Room gonna be a bit of a pain. Smite's gonna get hit, I think, about 4 times from those. Does find the big key, so he does not have to waste the key. He can save the key from the Pokey in the next room. Yeah, they're not. Bottles are one of the things you can afford to track incorrectly and not have too many issues. SunsOut gonna go check Bumper Cave, trying to exhaust the locations left that he has yet to go. And he still has yet to find those boots. He needs to make the play to Ice Palace, and he needs to make it soon, or his time in this tournament is going to end.
And you know what else we need in Randomizer is the fairy spell from Zelda 2 to be able to go through keyholes.
I mean, that would certainly save everybody a lot of time. Smight, I would say, is like 100% certain here, not going to go into Mimic Cave. There's nothing he really is looking for at this point that he'd want to even check Mimic Cave for. He'll just progress, open the big chest as usual. If he finds a key, then he does not have to do Laser Bridge. Which he did, so that is a bullet dodged. JTB now at the Land Mola fight. Gonna use the silver arrows. Gets 2 of them. Gets a little bumped by the debris from the 3rd one. But very quick and nicely executed as well. He will be on his way up to T-Rock pretty shortly. He might make the potion play as well. SunsOut is definitely lost here. I don't think he... I think he's kind of not... I think he finally realized he has to go to ice. He was having a little bit of a issue there, figuring out where he was supposed to go. That or he accidentally flew it to 1. Entirely possible.
Yeah, He probably wanted to put it off for a long time because his boots are really helpful for navigating ice.
Yeah, that and Ice Palace is a pendant. They didn't want to go in there. JTB gonna get one blue potion and then make his way up to the Turtle Rock. Smight is getting very close to Trinex. With his current equipment, Trinex shouldn't be a big problem since Tempered Sword is pretty ideal for this fight.
Ooh.
But he will have to watch his magic. Without a safety, and without picking up that magic pot, and he's not even going to pick up the magic pot either, he's going to need to be careful. But if he's practiced this fight enough, it should be easy enough to hit the heads twice with the rods. Yeah, there's the firehead down. This should be a very quick Inkling Trinex. Yep. Let's see if he ends up getting the nice quick finish on Trinex here. Trying to set up for it. Not quite, but still very quick. Nicely done by Smight.
Just a little too far left, it looked like.
Just a little bit. It was a little bit of an odd position, too, because he was so closely tightened, packed against the corner. Just because of where Trinex started. Alright, so it is time, chat, to guess where the big key is. There are 22 chests in Gans Tower where the big key can be. Pick a number 1 through 22, maybe even pick a location. If you are a subscriber or a supporter of the channel, which requires donating 250 bits or more to any of the speed gaming channels, I believe, you will be entered to play the game. And if you guess correctly or guess closest, you will be put on the leaderboards.
Sweet.
Yeah, it is speed. Oh, it's just the original speed gaming. Okay, my bad.
Okay. I mean, you could still guess, and
yeah, you can still guess. You just won't get placed on the leaderboard. All right,
yeah,
guessing is going to be closed as we go in. I didn't actually say a guess. I'll say 13.
I'm gonna go with 8.
So that's the first 2 down. Smight is going to go do the usual right side play of if you find a key, go right side. It's a play a lot of runners have been making lately, and it has paid off quite often. JTB is starting to get through Turtle Rock. SunsOut now has his Gomo boots. He is not happy about where he found them. And he's going to go now get those, get the Ether Medallion and start his trip to the end.
Like that would have helped getting down those stairs 10 seconds ago.
Yes, yes it would. Chests 3 through 6 do not have anything big except for the powder, which is, I guess, nice to have just going into GT. It's like one of the nice things you can find just to give you a little bit of safety for the last part. The torch is going to be chest number 7 coming up here, based on the route Smight took.
I'm a little
and
surprised
based on the fact that it's a big 20 on the torch, Bob will live today.
No one ever seems to do full right. I've seen a lot of interesting, unique routing, but never full right.
I have seen unique routing. I've seen 1 or 2 people do full right, but it's so rare. Just because it rarely ever pays out, because it's longer to get to the Armos on the right side, and you don't get any chests in the meantime either. There's just 10, there's 11, so we still haven't found it yet. And SunsOutGunsOut is now officially in go mode as he picks up his Ether. As this race now draws towards the 1 hour, 40-minute mark. Chest 12, another big 20. SunsOutGunsOut probably could still catch up, but he's going to need a either to really execute well, or he's going to need JTB to really mess up somewhere. I believe, yeah, SunsOut was the one who borrowed a key earlier, so he at least has the big key already. He does need to get the key off the torch, though. 13 was a key in GT. And we are now going to enter Rando Room. And yeah, looking at it again, Smight has a total of 18 hearts right now. We have found most of the health in the game. And we continue to open our chests, and we see that the big key is still not found, and we go up to heart number 19. I believe that was actually probably the last heart piece in the entire run.
Probably. Yeah.
So there's either 4 heart pieces left or a heart container. And, well, based on this, Bob's chest, Ice Armos, and Tile Room. That's what we have left for locations here. Bob's chest here, with our pal Bob the Anti-Fairy in the bottom right corner, has 10 arrows. Which means we need to progress even further on. JTB is approaching Trinex now, should have him taken care of in a minute. SunsOut is going to be approaching Lambolas and should have them taken care of pretty quick as well. Alright, is it the dreaded Tile Room? 18, 20, chest 20.
Alright.
So Smight dodges Tile Room narrowly and now goes up to the top. So in this instance, that all right side that you were mentioning would have actually been the fastest play to make because it gets you to those Armos and you would skip everything else.
Yeah, I get the feeling in version 26, just from watching a lot of matches, like, it seems like I see a lot of Armos with the big key seeds.
Yeah, Armos does seem to have, it's the vanilla area too, which is a little odd.
Allegedly, every chest is equally possible to have the big key.
Yeah,
or equally likely.
That wouldn't surprise me. Alright, JTP now also going to go enter GT. If he makes that full-on... If he skips right side, he'll make up sometime. If he goes on the full-on right gamble, he'll probably make up even more time. SunsOut finished off Lambos, is going to do T-Rock. The fact that he is a T-Rock behind is not good for his remaining life in the tournament. He would really need JTB to do something pretty bad, and with what they have, it's unlikely that happens. Smight is now making his way through Gauntlet and seems to be doing a pretty good job so far, clearing out all the enemies. And of course, that one Zizak decides to go into a bad location, and he has to chase it. Sprite despawn would probably be the biggest thing that would cost JTB time, yeah. I'll just run that away from Smight a little bit.
Just climb in the tower.
Yep, Smight is approaching Lambo 2. Just finished Gauntlet. JTB about to go enter GT. As SunsOut goes to enter T-Rock. JTB goes up to heart number 17 and is deciding to skip right side. That will save him a little bit of time. Smight very quickly kills the Lambos with arrows. And is coming up to the cane rooms. And I believe Smight still has his fairy from earlier, because he has not died yet. And I believe he still has both red potions that he found throughout the run. So the only thing that can really stop Smight at this point is a magic mishap, which he'll be making an effort to avoid at all costs.
As long as he grabs that jar right before Lorn 2.
Now I'm gonna deal with the torch room, first one. And he's gonna make his way over to floor 6. Smight is going to opt to skip all the chests on the top floor. I don't blame him. There's nothing left to grab. He has not seen a dot done. He would like to try and finish this and secure his spot, which at this point is more than likely. But the question is, will he open the final chest, just because it's in his way? And we'll also see if Trolldorm 2 has anything to say about this.
Because Gold Sword saves minimal time, but it does save time.
Yeah, but Iron Sword saves a little bit of
2
time.
seconds to open the chest.
And he will open the chest. It is a bomb expansion in the last chest. So we never found butter, and I don't think we will. JTB now goes up to heart number 18. And Smight enters Aghanim 2. Kind of a disjointed first formation, but Smight made it work pretty nicely. I think that was a triple. I'm not sure if that last one hit him at a bad time or not. That one was nope, that was... Yeah, double triple. Nice job, Smight. That's not easy.
There's really some trick shots there.
Yeah. Smight is off to Ganon. JTB a couple rooms away from finding his big key in GT. SunsOut unfortunately still has most of T-Rock ahead of him. Now, this is the general Ganon fight. Tempered Sword with Silvers. So, Smight should not have any issues with this fight. Unfortunately got clipped by the Trident and is not going to be able to one-cycle phase 1 with Tempered. And he's quickly approached phase 2. JTB has his big key and is going to start his climb. I would say he needs to watch his health, but Smight has pretty much all the healing he could ever need and a fairy. So... not at all concerned for his well-being, because he knows that his well-being is well taken care of in his pocket.
Just 12 hits, 4 hits, and 4 or fewer hits.
Yep. It depends on whether you have the silvers or not. It'll be 4, 12, or 24 on that last phase. We did find the arrows in Swamp Palace. Here, have them. Yeah, prioritize getting Torch Glitch. It's not that important, given he has a ton of magic with half magic. And I'm gonna go for a double. Barely misses it, but he's more than... I think he got Ganon here. Yep, that's gonna be the last hit right there. Very nice, very clean finish by Smight. Smight will finish this race in first place and will secure his spot in the bracket stage of the secondary tournament. His official SR time was 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 10 seconds.
GG.
Seed says GG.
Seed. A bootsless boots required seed. That's a pretty good time.
JTB is about to finish Gauntlet and should be getting to Aghanim pretty soon. SunsOut, unfortunately, I think is pretty much out of this.
So how early were Flippers?
Flippers were in pod along with the Titan's Mitts
Okay.
and the Ice Rod. It was a very important check that Smight did, I think, at a better time than JTB did, but JTB did still get what was in it. He just couldn't finish the dungeon on his first trip. And it looks like we will be getting Smight for an interview in a little bit. And
As
that's
usual,
him right there in the waiting room. We'll get him in here probably in just a minute. Because I'm not sure if I can actually do that. No, I can't.
You tried. That's what counts.
We'll get him in here in just a minute. Yep, there he is. Hello, Smight. Congrats on finishing the race.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So this seed had you with a very late pull with an Agadim,
It seemed like such a good seed.
and then it said, no, go do Agadim. It was kind of interesting for us to watch, too, because you and like all the other runners were looking for boots, and the fact that it was stuck in Ice Palace made it interesting, just because we had to discern, after finding that Ether was Mire, it couldn't be anywhere else.
Yeah, that was the last place I looked.
Yeah, you found the boots first, and you finding the bow by doing that sequence break really helped you. JTB is going to be, he probably finishing in a couple minutes here. He didn't do Eastern, and as such was missing the bow when he went into Pod, and couldn't finish it when he went there.
I got that bow and I forgot to check what the crystals were, so I just kind of hoped that it was not a pendant in Eastern Palace.
Well, you got particularly lucky there, I guess, then.
I couldn't believe I found that there. I was about to leave.
You also had that cave. You also had the Paradox Cave of Dark World access, which was kind of funny. So, what were your thoughts about this seed overall?
I kept telling myself to stop exploring the overworld because it seemed like it was going to be a really fast seed, and then I got stuck, and I didn't feel so bad about checking the blacksmiths and the.
It ended up working decently in your favor.
I was starting to get confused with all the overworld locations I skipped. I skipped the old man because I got lost in the dark, and I skipped a bunch of other stuff. So I just started doing it just so I wouldn't forget.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. I believe you were also one of the only runners who didn't end up taking any deaths either. I want to say you had both your potions and your fairy at the end of the run.
Yeah, I did. I actually hate it when I get the fairy, because then I can't
Death warp.
kill myself very quickly.
Yeah. We would probably like to have death warped in Hera, but didn't end up doing it.
I was going to do it in Escape. I was going to go in the dark there, but I think I already had it then.
Yeah. JTB is now on Ganon, so this should be pretty much wrapped up. SunsOut fell very far behind compared to both of you. He did follow you into Eastern, but he just kind of got tripped up by small things, and I think his execution was a little off too. He died to Moth. I had to go back and kill him.
I'm always worried I'm going to screw up that room with the darkness bow where that guy has the key.
Oh, the Igor, yeah. That is the one dark room in Eastern that's a little hesitant as to being able to actually clear it out. Oh yeah, and you also got the double triple on Aga too. How'd you feel about that?
That hasn't happened in a while. I was excited about that.
It's always good when you can get that nice clean Aga 2 and just deal with it straight out.
I wasn't sure if I was how I was doing, but then I got that and I suddenly had a boost in morale.
Yeah, it's one of those things that just makes you feel good about closing out the run. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to bring up at the moment. And I can't quite think of it. JTB actually just finished.
Must have felt
He
nice.
should be getting his dot done in a second. And yes, indeed, he has finished. He is going to be the second runner moving on with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 15 seconds.
Was everybody looking for the boots at the end?
Oh yeah, everyone's last item was boots. Well, ether technically, but they all needed the boots.
I wanted to get up there and see if it was bombos or not as soon as I could. It just took too long to do it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have really mattered.
Now, before the buyer check, actually, how afraid were you it was going to be boots on ped? Because it seemed very likely if Meyer was a medallion you guys had, like bombos, that the boots could have been on the pedestal.
Oh, it's just my luck to not finish Hera and have a need to do it, so I kind of expect that to happen all the time.
Yeah, I don't think any of you guys actually ended up killing Moldorm at the top of Hera.
I just had all these items to do dungeons. I felt like I should start doing them, and they were pretty good. They just didn't give me everything, unfortunately.
The sea kind of breadcrumbed you, I think, pretty nicely with that bow. It kind of led you on a fairly good path through Pod and then to Swamp to get most of what you needed to finish. And at least the swords you guys needed weren't in very difficult places either.
Yeah, we got those right away.
Dick game, chest game, and I believe the first one was either somewhere in Kakariko, I believe.
There was one on the mountain, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, no, it was the mini Moldorm cave. And that would be JTB. Congrats on finishing, dude, and congrats to both of you for moving on.
Yeah, that's a huge relief off my chest. And have it be an Aghanim seed too for the tiebreaker. I mean,
very late Aghanim too. You see that ether, you're wondering if you're going to have to go back, and sure enough, both of the medallions were ethers, so you had to go get that.
Yeah, my heart sank a little bit when I saw it was required for Turok, so I knew I had to do it at some point. It was just, I'm going to wait till I have...
Everyone waited till like the last possible second. The only one who did it before they had boots was SunsOut, and he's still making his way through Gauntlet here.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think the seed went for you overall?
I think I need to trust my initial instinct and go into Ice Palace, even if it's not required. Very early on, I'm just like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to pop into there, but it's Ice Palace. I really don't want to.
Yeah, Ice Palace, I think, has that reputation in B26 for being a dungeon that always seems to have something in it.
Yeah.
Except for the times it has nothing in it.
And that's how I felt about Hera, too. Like, Hera, they threw Hookshot, Hammer, with a flute, and Fire Rod at you. So I'm thinking, okay, Hera has to have something in there. It's just half magic.
Yeah, it's like, go to Hera, and it had half magic, which was nice.
Yeah, it definitely
but not what
was.
you're looking for.
Right. So I kind of had that in the back of my mind when thinking about Ice Palace too. So I hesitated.
Pod led you there, huh?
Now.
Yeah, I actually double dipped to Pod.
Yeah. Yeah, the big difference between, and the reason I think Smight finished before you, and SunsOut even found this too, they both went to Eastern, did the sequence break for the Dark Room, and found the bow. You found it a lot later than they did, because they both went to Eastern right away.
Yeah, that's probably another big thing. I should have popped to the Eastern a lot earlier. I typically just saw that there's just so many places to go before Eastern.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll find both somewhere that's not Eastern probably. And I kind of...
Your route was still pretty good. It's just that not having that bow didn't make Pod very clean. It led you in a different path that wasn't quite as efficient as the one Smight then had laid out in front of him.
Right.
Otherwise, you did execute pretty well. I want to say all your boss fights went pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with just my execution in general, and most of my routing too. I've really cleaned it up lately, so it's good to see a seed like this still get sub 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, SunsOut, be careful. You only got 3 hearts left. You do not want to have to redo this tower. I think he still has plenty of potions, though he should be fine.
That's another thing I noticed about the seed. They threw a ton
You saw all 4 bottles that seed.
I did? Oh, I didn't even realize.
As I believe the 4th one was in the library.
Oh, okay, I didn't pick that one.
We saw all 4. We didn't get all 4. I don't think anyone went back for this. It's like boots of the go mode item. We don't care about this ball anymore. And I don't think any of you guys bothered to check the chests on the top floor, though I don't think I would blame you. Sun's actually checked one. So no one found butter, everyone found silvers. Ended up being fairly clean at the end. Just had that late Aghanim surprise.
Right.
Surprise people don't typically want to see.
I mean, I figured. I saw the ether very, very early.
I think you were the one actually too who had the information first. You saw that Turtle Rock was ether, so you knew you had to do Aghanim. But then you went to check Meyer. I think actually Suns did it first, but you went to check and saw that it was also ether. So
thank goodness
the
for
boots
that.
didn't have a ton of places they could be, and that's when the Ice Palace play came in. I think you went to Pod first though, because you hadn't done that yet. Or
Yeah,
Easter.
Pod just has so much stuff that. Yeah,
Pod was loaded.
yeah,
You guys got a lot of good stuff in Pod.
I was pretty happy with everything that was found in there.
Yeah. So I don't remember who found this last. It may have been Suns again. Smight found the lamp pretty early in his run. You found it, I think, after Thieves.
Where was it again?
It was on the Haunted Grove Ledge cave.
Oh yeah, because I routed that really late. It's Prophet Thieves.
Which actually kind of makes me wonder, did getting the lamp change either of your routing at all?
When I had Fire Rod, no. I mean, I could do all the dark rounds without any issues.
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew it would have to be required for Aghanim, so that's really the biggest thing. Well, not required, but just make it way easier.
Well, Sun's Out's gonna be progressing again shortly, so we'll probably get him in here before too long as well. So, yeah, I don't think I have much other questions to add. Anything else you want to add, Jagger?
Not really. It's just, I guess, going to dungeons seems to be a real priority in version 26, huh?
Yeah, V26 is, even if it's a pendant, you usually go in it. It's just proven to be that way. V27 will be interesting to see if that stays the same and how much it changes, how much more variance we'll get from that.
Catfish required every seed.
And I guess the other thing, since I bring up logic, is where were you thinking the bow was before you found it in Eastern?
I think if I didn't find it in Eastern, that's when I would have dipped into Ice Palace and just hoped for the best.
Well, the thing, though, is you did get the Flippers and the Titan's Mitt in Pod, and the thing about V26 logic is those items are considered bow-locked by the logic. It's something they're fixing in V27.
Yeah.
So anything you got in the back area couldn't have actually led to bow.
Oh, you know what?
It's a weird little hiccup in the logic.
Yeah, it's something I need to start thinking about more because I didn't.
Well,
realize
they're fixing it in like a
game. It makes sense. I mean,
it does make sense, at least a little bit.
For the most part, yeah, there are instances where you could get keys in the first 3 chests, but the logic doesn't consider that. It just says the back.
Yeah, it just says the back is locked. And it looks like Sun's about to finish off Ganon here. Yep, missed the double. He's got one more hit. Oh, he missed again. And there he goes.
GG.
Yeah, a lot of the races seem to come down to who gets to skip the most items, rather than who routes the most efficiently. It's kind of strange.
Alright, his official SRL time is 2 hours, 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for him today, and he is going to be the member of this tiebreaker who will not be moving on.
We had a really difficult group, I think.
Yeah, I want to say your group had a lot of strong players in it.
But the thing is, all of us were, well, with the exception of Smight, who was top seed probably, I think, coming in. Suns and I have just really pushed ourselves since the tournament started. So that with Zelnus as well on the group.
Yeah.
Just a lot of really good people.
Yeah, it's great seeing rapid improvement from these second tournament racers.
Runners. All right, SunsOutGunsOut is in the waiting room, waiting for us to pull him over, and I believe he's in here now. GG on the seed there, SunsOutGunsOut.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, good race, guys. Good race.
Good race, dude.
I can hear a bit of either your stream or an echo of something in the background there.
That's the TV.
Yeah, probably the TV.
It's a good song.
It's true.
Best song.
It's so good the audience gets to hear it twice.
What a
I
race.
think we switched to the bass point. That was a kind of an interesting seed there with that late Aghanim there, Suns Out.
Yeah, I knew where Ether was. I just didn't find the boots until I had already cleared Aghanim.
Everyone found boots last. Smight and JTB found it a little bit beforehand. You and Smight made the play to get the bow out of the Eastern Palace Dark Room path, which ended up helping you both. But I want to say one of the big things that may have hindered you in this race may have been that death to Moth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with my skill level, like, I think I'm really good, but my execution's not always on point. And Fighter Sword Mothula, even with half magic and a cape and a bottle, I somehow died. I feel really embarrassed about that. But honestly, I should have if I would have just gone to Thieves Town first, I would have had the second sword out of the chest.
Yeah, you would have got the second sword upgrade. You probably weren't happy to see that there after that.
As soon as I took the death, I knew it was going to happen. My routing was okay until then. I went up and did.
Yeah, I think you did route pretty nicely otherwise.
Yeah,
You just kind of end up behind.
Mothula is really tricky. It gets if you try to play offensively against him, he just bounces off spikes all the time.
It's basically
Boss,
and
you
the
really
hitbox
got to
is
dance
phenomenal.
around for an hour.
So overall, you thought the seed went well?
I thought it was a good seed. I thought it was fitting for a three-way death race.
Oh, you
Yeah,
got
it was
that
a
right.
pretty interesting one to watch, especially when you were the one who found this out first. You found that the Mire was also Ether, so the boots couldn't be in it.
Right.
It shot down Sahasrara, it shot down Mire, it shot down the pedestal. It eliminated so many locations at once.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go over and check the catfish after I went with the graveyard ledge. I figured I'd sweep right across, and it's like, I don't have the boots, and there's such a low percentage chance that it's there. So I figured I'd go ahead and just head to Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not shocked that I didn't advance out of this group stage. I mean, this is my first set of tournament races for this game that I've ever really done. So I never expected to be 3-1 in the first place. I still have no idea. I could have
performed fairly well to make it this far.
Yeah,
I was
but
saying that both me and you have really improved since the start of it. I think we kind of came in, nobody knowing anything about us, and then here we are.
exactly. I just wanted to make a little bit of noise. I wanted to get one win, ended up with 3, and I'm happy. I'm very happy that I came and participated in the tournament, and we'll see if I can get into the first tournament next time in the top 100. That way I can get destroyed by the real guys that are
Yeah.
Get destroyed by the actual hard hitters of the competition.
Right. Probably end up drawing like ACM or Christos in the first round. And really
Absolutely.
It's kind of like there's the normal Wrecking Ball wielding knights, and then there's Spike Ball wielding knights. Which would you prefer?
Yeah, for real, man. And I'm going in there with pretty much no weapons, like a cane of Burna.
Yeah, so just kind of the basic summary of this seed. Ton of health, found all the bottles, and had basically just the essentials you needed to deal with the whole seed. Though looking at the items again, I think Smight was the only one who found powder because he went right side first. That big key was in a pretty bad location, I think, all things considered, in that tower.
I can never decide if I want to go all the
I
way
agree.
right or not. And it would have paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel a lot more confident going left side as opposed to the right side. It's easier for me at my skill level just to go knock out the easier chests on the left side all the way to the end.
See, I'm a gambling man, but I will not go right side on Ganon's tower first.
Those first 2 chests are one thing, but after that, we're going down the left side.
Yeah. I think that's what most people do. Going straight through right. Some people have done it. It sometimes has paid off. It just seems like a really hard gamble to go straight to Ice Armos from the right side.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was at in the seed, like racing time wise. I figured I was in second place, and then when I was coming out of Turtle Rock, Smight had already done, and I was just like, "Wow, really?
Yeah, I think
really though."
I think for a while it felt like you were in a decent position. JTB took a long time to find that bow because he never went into Eastern without the lamp.
Yeah,
But in the end, he didn't end up losing too much time from the bow because he ended up finding it before too much time had passed. And, well, by that point, he had found the boots about 3 or 4 minutes ahead of you.
yeah. I went back and did the purple chest and the smith, and then did like the northern dark world. I think that's what ended up costing me all the seconds and minutes that I needed back.
Yeah, I think everybody checked most overworld locations. There was pretty much no stone unturned that we could unturn.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a habit of checking too much overworld instead of getting into the palaces, and I went into the dungeons early this time and then got forced back into the overworld. So,
Yeah, V26 is very fickle, though traditionally it wants you to check dungeons.
yeah. At least we didn't have to go into all of the pendant dungeons this time.
Yeah, that was a nice little blessing. Meyer got to be dodged entirely. And Hera, surprisingly, didn't really have anything you needed in it, just that half magic that carried you for the rest of the run.
Yeah, I really like seeing half magic, but other than that, it was kind of a bust, and I didn't even get the pendant out of it because I ended up falling to Troll Dorm just in case. I hadn't checked the pedestal yet or anything.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
believe you were the only one who went up to attempt him, and when you fell, I want to say you just left.
Yeah, at that point, it was just save and quit time because
Yeah,
it's a
makes complete
thing
sense.
anyway. It wasn't going to help me out any.
All right, so anything else you guys want to add before we sign off here?
Good luck, gentlemen. I think the 2 deserving people got out of the bracket, and I'm excited to watch you guys run the rest of it. Maybe I'll even get to commentate on one of them.
I don't expect this will be the last we see of you, Sunzo. We'll probably see you again next tournament.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm trying to get into the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer as well here, so we'll
might be splitting your practice here a bit, huh?
Oh yeah, but I won't put this one down. This is a lot of fun. I mean, I only picked up the vanilla version of the game on Super Nintendo like 3-4 months ago, and then I play on a laptop also, so it's weird hitting keys instead of having a controller. So I might go and get me something that'll allow me to play it not on the keyboard.
That helps a lot when you're used to a controller.
Oh, definitely.
But,
All right, so for those still in the chat looking for potentially some more randomizer stuff, the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament actually is going to have a match, I believe, here in about 35 minutes if you want to look at that. Otherwise, I believe there are 2 races going on in 1 or 2 races. I guess it's 1 going on in SG3. If you want to see more, if you guys if you guys like what you saw here today, make sure to follow the runners if you like what you saw. And shouts to our trackers, Math Girl and Volt, and our Restreaper Epipoliticus. And shouts to Zelda who had to leave midway through commentary. And I guess that's all we're gonna have here. I've been Buckshot Boo, and thank you for watching with us and hanging out. We'll see you guys next time.
See you.
Thank you.